Lhagic, Asafo in the house online. Live stream PSN. Friday nights, 12 in the A&M. Beginner news, trending news and interviews. You ain't non-GMO, ain't been approved. Just hit that like button and subscribe to it. Rap gamers, all our viewers vibe to it. Rap gamers, we gon' put the MC back and get it XP. Rap.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to AsafoDigital presents Rap Gamers. We live. It's your host, Lhagic, Lhagic. You can check me out, lhagic.strikingly.com. See what we got going on. Man, we got an amazing show tonight. Phenomenal artists out of Pittsburgh. You know, phenomenal, dope, feminine, femc, artivist, incredible. I don't know if you all have heard of this incredible artist before, but she goes by the name of Blak Rapp Madusa. Wonderful. How you doing? Welcome. I hear you just came from doing a show tonight, just rocking. You just came straight from the show, came here, and you wanted to talk about it. Tell us a little bit about what you did tonight and where you was at in the city and how that worked out.
Yeah, Blak Rapp Madusa. I just came from the Brillo box, doing something Bougat inside of Montreal. It's an international group. They've been through here before, but they mostly they're on tour right now. So I opened up for them. They came through, and I didn't get to catch them because my man's just booked it. He booked it for 10, but I didn't go on until 11. Okay. So it kind of, you know.
So they saved the best for that area, right? I know you rocked it. I know people was going ham.
Oh man, definitely. Just on the political rap type thing. You know?
Oh, that's what's up. That's dope, man. That's what we need. We need more artists that aren't afraid to speak what needs to be said. You know, there's a lot of dumbing down of our music, of our culture, of the things that is really coming across from a lot of artists. And when we do get artists to actually stand up there and speak things from the heart that a lot of people, you know, just aren't saying anymore, man. I mean, we forgot about, you know, the people that are sitting there that are being forgotten about. And, you know, we got to keep it moving forward. But what is it like as a rapper, Blak Rapp Madusa? And I keep saying your name, but it's like, what does that mean? Like, where'd you create that name? Where did it come from? And what drove you to really just say, you know what, I want to rap about social, political topics? And
well, Black is Black liberation and knowledge. Rap is real art and political poetry. And Madusa is making the difference using skills and activism. So it's like an acronym for just empowerment and making sure that when people, you know, say my name, that they understand that it's, you know, it's a movement. It's not just a name. It's not just a label. It's not just a title. That it has more, you know, it's more about the movement and the liberation of.
So it's folks. Really, you're saying that it's not a character, but it's more just you and your art that you're expressing, and you feel like it's just a revolutionary process as far as being able to get your art out there to the world.
Yeah, it's a movement.
Yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. We need more movements. People that are actually moving to something that's worth grooving.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like that.
True story. But, you know, I wanted to get into some of this game right here. This game that we're going to be playing tonight on PlayStation, of course. You know, I hope y'all got your PlayStations at home, your PS4s, your PS4 Pros, you know, your Nintendo Switches. Shout out to Nintendo. I show a lot of hate to the other guys. I don't even know their name. I forget. What was they called? The other system out there people be playing? I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. But we rocking over here in the house and we getting it in. This game right here is called Skyforce Anniversary. It's like a little shoot 'em up game similar to like Galaga or something of that nature. An older school type 2D shooting game. So I don't know. Jump on in. I want to see how good you are at this, and I'll find out how good I am. I've never played this yet, so this will be my first time playing this game. I felt like I should try it out today on the show. I feel like it'll be something that'll keep us, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool. It's like a Atari joint.
Yeah. I kind of like games like this when they're done well, you know, and they're not gimmicky. Like some people try to bring back games for a nostalgic feeling, and it's not necessarily, they missed their mark, you know. I actually just played a game recently by the name of Dundara, which is a pretty fly 2D scroller. It just came out. Wonderful game. you all should check out if you get a chance. It's in the PSN store. You can get that right now. And this game got a lot of bosses and stuff in it as well, too. So, you know, I'm kind of like, back in the day, we used to have games like Akari Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, what did you play back in the day? What really got you encouraged into?
I was I was a Super Nintendo kind of chick. I definitely was into Mario. Definitely was into textures.
Like puzzle games, you were in like Dr. Mario, things like that, or like the Mario Brothers.
Well, I like Yoshi's World.
Yoshi's World.
I was into Yoshi's World.
Oh yeah, that's my game. I love Yoshi's World.
Yeah.
You know, there's supposed to be a new Yoshi game coming out real soon for the Nintendo Switch, so be on the lookout for that. Looks pretty dope as well. I love everything they got to do with Mario. Yeah. I love Mario, Yoshi Island, Yoshi World, Paper Mario, all the different in the franchise, man. Nintendo is real innovative and creative with their games. I'm always going to say that because I love them like that. You know, they family. Right. PlayStation, Sony, y'all doing it big with your game console. Everybody else, I don't know. Yeah. You know, I ain't gonna say their names because I don't know about them guys.
I don't know.
But, yeah. So let me try. I'm gonna try that. So how was it? How was your experience like when you went up there and rocked tonight? What songs did you do? What did you actually perform?
Oh, so I got a couple new joints out. It's not you can't get it anywhere. It's not on SoundCloud or Bandcamp or anything like that. It's I have a Mary's Daughter mixtape coming out. It's dropping in May. So I just performed.
It's called Mary's Got a Mixtape?
No, it's Mary's Daughter mixtape.
Oh, Mary's Daughter mixtape.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mary's Daughter mixtape. What's that mean?
Well, so Mary's Daughter is a play. It's Mary's Daughter Memoirs of an Artivist. It's a one-woman play that basically it's like a dramatic interview for my film Her Time to Shine. Okay. And so basically what it does is it expounds on the different questions that I'm asking other female artists, like, you know, about mass incarceration, about misogyny in hip hop, about, you know, artivism, about parenting, with the lens of hip hop as, you know, like the scope to like have that conversation.
I think we got a clip. Can you cue that clip from the documentary from what's the name of it? Her Time to Shine?
Yes.
So in this documentary, what is well, you know, I'm not even going to ask you that. I'm going to let the clip explain what's going on, and then we'll just go from there so you can talk more about that, because I really wanted to get into it. I like that. Right. That's a dope idea, and we need more of that, you know. This is a clip from Blak Rapp Madusa's new documentary.
Her Time to Shine is about the impact of hip-hop on Black women's souls.
It was. I remember being in a station wagon with my foster mom. She turning on the radio station, and this beat just came on, and ever since then I just was like what is this?
To hear an entire song with melodies like the shit we grew up on in like the 80s and the 90s, you know, the way that it really truly influenced me was seeing the kind of women that I would see in the streets. It was a different...
You know, we want you guys to stick around and enjoy. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you're an artist that's interested in getting on the show, make sure you send your EPKs to AsafoDigital@gmail.com. Send your pictures, the music that you got, everything you got going on. I want to hear what positive things you got going on in your community, because this is really about uplifting these incredible artists that don't necessarily get to be seen. So we want to bring you guys on the show, and we want to introduce you all to this game world, you know, because representation, Black gamers matter, Black representation matters in the game world. We here. So, you know, and we getting it in. I'm sitting on the couch with Blak Rapp Madusa. Crazy hot. But we're going to get these clips together, and we're going to get everything the way that we want it to go. So your brand new documentary where you're talking about, you know, these struggles that Black women need to voice in their creativity. What brought that about? What made you say, you know, I just want to make this documentary. I really want to make this is the visual I want to create to get this message out or tell people stories. Do you have a story of your own that you would say could... that might have influenced your?
I think that as a Black female artist, the intersectionality of race and gender becomes a thing when you're talking about hip hop, because hip hop is definitely male centered. Black women who, kind of enter the game, they have to be super dramatic, whether they're going to, use their sexuality as the main attraction, or they're going to, kind of cultivate this spirit of righteousness or consciousness, like Lauryn Hill or something like that. You gonna have to be super dramatic with what you do and what you say, how you dress. All of that matters to to the public, to the audience, and
so you saying like a Cardi B type artist that come out and they just showing themselves everywhere. They don't care if the children are in the audience.
Well,
this is what you're gonna get.
I think Cardi B, the thing about Cardi B is that she has like, kind of a rags to riches type of story. So she doesn't, she already,
But don't all black people have a rags to riches? I don't think
not all of us. Not all of us. Some of us kind of have privilege. Like, say a Gucci man, he kind of comes from privilege a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily. He's his mother and father was educated.
I don't see no privilege. Gucci came from the gutter. That's
but
why
he looked like he looked. That's his selling. That's his sales point. But he doesn't. His mother and his father were both educated, so he comes from a good background. Whereas a Cardi B, who come from the Bronx, come from, she comes from...
I don't think Gucci Man is the brother that we need to say to kid, but okay, that's what
I do say...
I don't think he's the brother
I'm going to say Gucci Man. Listen, I'm going to say Gucci Man
but Master P, he made it... made something out of nothing.
But Master P still comes from... He comes from... You talk about Louisiana. Yeah. Louisiana, the boot is most of them, if they coming from 9th Ward or 5th Ward or any of that, they poor there. Right. But like I said, I use Gucci Man because we know that we don't.
We
know.
would assume him to be one way.
We assume him to come from the hood and to come from this poverty, but that's just his selling point. But he actually comes from a good household, good upbringing, good. He comes from privilege. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a Cardi B, she doesn't necessarily come from privilege, and we see her on Love and Hip Hop. We see her come in from a stripper's point of view, and then, she said, I don't gotta dance no more, mama. Like, I don't have to dance no more. Young ladies out here who's been stripping, trying to feed their babies, trying to, go to college or trying to, make whatever type of name for themselves. She's saying, like, there's hope for you. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't take her to be just the over-sexualization, but
definitely hope.
I take a Nicki Minaj offensive because she uses Barbie. She uses the idea of Barbie to attract her audience, which also attracts a young audience, a young black girl audience who's looking for someone to idolize. And now you got this person who doesn't care. Now, she doesn't care if children are in. Now, if you listen to Cardi B, I follow Cardi B on Instagram.
But we need queens like Blak Rapp Madusa.
Absolutely.
Like Lauryn Hill.
Yes.
Like Bahamadia, like Queen Latifah. We need women that are really who they're supposed to be.
Right.
Like, we don't need them looking like... We as Africans can't just keep looking like we're in a circus, dressing like clowns. We're not dancing here for showboats and crumbs. Well, like, we really do need to have our own things, and it got to be the right examples in place.
Yes.
We can't just keep putting on pedestal people that are out here doing the... And it's just, anybody can change. Right. Anybody can grow and evolve.
Right.
But we need the right images for our children. I don't want my daughter looking at that thinking that it's okay, I'm going to strip a little bit and then I'm going to make this money. No, you're not doing that. You respect yourself as a young queen and you're going to be that.
Right.
And it's like we need to tell our children that it's not okay dealing with, come on, man. We can't keep settling for less. We got to be the best. Where we come from. We come from nothing but greatness.
Right.
And that should be on our chest. We should be poking it out, walking with our heads high.
Right.
So... like Cardi B and these artists, dope lyricists. But I'm not going to let your talent erase the things that's being sold to our children.
Right. So, I absolutely agree. But I think like as a female artist, you do have to figure out which side you're going to be on. If you're going to keep your clothes on, how are you going to get in the game? Because, brothers don't like, even for me, like I have to be super dramatic on the stage. Like I can't just go on stage and spit this righteousness and think that, I'm gonna get an audience. You know what I mean? Like I have to I have to cultivate this air of dramatism to get people to even listen to me in the first place. If I come too hard, if my lyrics are too hard and I look too hard, people tune me out.
But
so I have to have a little softness to me.
You are already important in this world. There's one of you. You the only one that came out of your mama.
Right.
Your voice is always going to be important. You
Right.
don't got to show that to nobody. They don't even got to like it.
Right.
But the people love it, but they don't got to.
Right.
And it's not about showing them anything. Just make your dopeness
Right.
be what it is.
Right,
And you
right,
do
right.
such a great job of doing that.
Right.
You know, I love what you got. I've checked out a few of your videos. You're doing the right things, and you're giving our young women a positive message that's
Right.
very powerful.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need. No more of this shook stuff, this candy coated, you trying to kill our babies with poison in the candy.
Right, right, right.
We gotta make this thing right. I know
Right.
we here for video games, but we here for that real truth.
Right.
Because I love my viewers to get this type of information.
Right,
and if
right.
you all have any questions out there, make sure you all hit that like button, subscribe, comment below. It's a live chat right now.
Right.
You know, leave your comments. Tell me what you want to see me ask these artists. You know, if you're watching right now, give me some questions. You know, what do you want to know about Blak Rapp Madusa? You know,
Yeah.
But you know, matter of fact, let's just play one of your records right now. I want to hear a full record of yours so the audience can hear like we're talking to you, but they haven't really heard you spit. They haven't heard your talent, and I
Right.
want them to get that. So
Let's hear that Black
Let's
Summer.
drop a record.
I hear that Black Summer.
Yeah, play that Black Summer. Let me see. I got you.
What up?
Get me like that. Don't get me like that. Don't get me like that.
Yeah. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution, Huey Newton, I'm cooking up a solution. I'm ready to get the shooting. I'm ready to spark this movement. That speed, it get the bump in my head. It get the thumping, got me thinking about something. Freedom that's on my mind, it got me reaching out something. When my teeth stop showing and that heat start flowing, I'ma rock this mic tonight. I grab the mic, it's like I'm Dolomite. Overseeing your oversight. Coke the baking soda, cause they wanna give us 3 strikes. And they wanna take a nigga's life. Well, send them babies off to college with them crack dollars. Black and Impalas, trapping up black fathers. Trapping to feed their daughters, but they lack knowledge. They not aware, Section 8 never wanted them there. And they babies mama welfare. It's like a twisted game of truth or dare. I never promised to repeat them on the proof is there. True repair come for reparation. Blak Madusa trying to save the nation. Sing. Don't look at me like that. Don't you look at me. You don't know what you see.
This is Jaquay May on the
Like a midi, I mean, I declare war. Pawnees, fake ass outlaws. My Jamaican said he's seen it before. Yeah, I could burn Babylon. Yo, burn Babylon and then settle the score. I am Tiara, no Tiara, it's a metaphor. In remembrance of a black galore. I kill his beat just like a savage or like a maverick out in Dallas, spitting rhymes galore. Encore, you should bet for more. I said America stage. Y'all shook to see me good today. Strange looks, I'm reading books and ancient niggas slave. Bound for glory, better let freedom ring. I sing the songs that my granny sang. Demolish those that stand in my way. I detonate like I'm napalm. No chest, face gone. John Travolta, the way I face off. Usain Bolt, the way I take off. You should be afraid of what I don't say, but what I can do. Unite Christian pie rules, documented in your Bible. The first shall be last and the last shall begin to rule. Y'all broke the laws and then I bent the rules. Felonious capers just to get the paper. Mass incarceration just to re-enslave us. Reincarnated, I'm a new nigga. Same gun, it's a new trigger. So my enemies are slew quicker. If you knew, then you do different. Blak Madusa on a new mission. Sing. Don't look at me like that. Don't you look at me. You don't know what you see. You know, I ask myself if racism preceded slavery or slavery preceded racism. I ask myself, is this you or is this me? Is it hatred that's been deep-seated for eons? Or is it something that you just came up with? Is it something that you noticed when you decided that you were superior? When you decided that I was inferior? When you decided that my royalty wasn't good enough for you? Is it something that you just came up with when you saw how good my black
Yeah. So what you think about that?
That was dope. That was real dope.
Yeah.
So what really made you write that record? When you wrote that song, what was you thinking about at that moment?
Oh, it was just right after the brother Freddie Gray had been assassinated over in Baltimore. And I was just trying to figure out a way to, it was in the summer. And so we had all these police brutality cases that just really, that people were just, to me, like just protesting about. But the youth in Baltimore, they were really fired up.
Right.
These young people was fired up, so they was fighting the police officers back. They wasn't just like, they wasn't just taking it. They wasn't just saying like, oh, let me bring out some picket signs. No, these brothers was out there. These brothers and sisters were actually out there, fighting the cops back with no arms. They picked up a trash can and threw it at it, and that's what you see in the video. They're throwing trash cans. They're throwing whatever they can find. They don't have guns. They don't have, you know what I mean? They're so angry and upset that some innocent person has been shot, and somebody their age. Their peer has been taken away from them for nothing because you looked at a police officer the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
So what, as a solution, do you feel like that was the best way to go about things? Or do you think like the way that they responded in the heat of the moment?
I think that we're
emotionally,
this generation is really reactionary. We don't strategize, so we're not, we're not proactive. We're reactive. We're not sitting back thinking like, oh, hey, let's come up with a solution right now because we know it's going to be another Trayvon Martin. We know it's going to be another Rekia Boyd. So since we know this, let's start planning. Nobody's really planning. Everybody's like, oh, it happened. Let me go out here and do something about it. And I mean, like I said, I come in.
The best thing that we can do as a people is establish our own institutions. We got to have our own police force. It's not about depending on somebody else to do for you, being on your knees begging your whole life. You got to have your own like we once had. But until we figure that solution out, which is the hardest part, it seems. But once we figure that out, then we won't have to worry about who's doing what to the babies. Because we'll be able to protect our babies with laws that we wrote and things and institutions we've established and held and retained the responsibility of being the head of. So, I mean, really, that's only one solution. There's millions of solutions, but that's one solution that I would say would be a lot of my not work, a violent, solution.
A lot of my work is around, freeing our comrades, who have been incarcerated for, putting their life on the line. So I deal with mass incarceration in a real way. I am formerly incarcerated, and what I realize is that our brothers and sisters is being re-enslaved by the system in a way that we don't really think about it because we're so used to it. We're so used to our brothers and sisters going to jail that we don't think about the way that they re-enslaving, not just even, our youth. I call them outmates. I call us outmates in a way that we, a lot of us are institutionalized. So when we talk about building our own institutions, it's great. If America came right now and said they was going to give us reparations and start giving us institutions, we would lose it within a few years.
I don't know. There's no reparation you could give me to be happy. I mean, you can't come into my house and kick my door in and do whatever you want to my family and say, here, I'm going to give you a snack. It's not going to make me happy. I won't be happy until we actually step up and we do our own things. Mm-hmm. Like we got our own intelligence. We got hands. We can build our own everything.
I get all that, but the reality is that we, when we talk about a political strategy, you know what I'm saying? They gave the Japanese reparations. They dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they went back and they tried to repair their situation. All I'm saying is that at least acknowledge that we need to be repaired. Don't send in the troops. Don't send in crack. Don't send in, the prisons. Don't send in the task force when you've wronged me.
True story.
You brought crack to my community. I didn't make crack. You made crack.
True story. You brought them over on the big boatloads that only they got the money for. They shipping them in and out. It is what it is. Everybody knows.
Half the niggas in the hood don't even have a passport.
Everybody knows what really goes on, who the real criminals are, because crime pays.
Right.
There would be no reason to have judges, police officers, or any of these things that protect corporations, nothing else, if it wasn't about making a paycheck. They don't care about solving crime. That's why.
We are the crime. We are the crime. The criminality of black people is big business. It's billion-dollar
Well,
industry.
it's actually something that was created out of warfare. You know, prison systems are meant to hold prisoners of war. You know, and when you're being attacked and you're not wanted to be in mass numbers, they have to throw the men somewhere as they weaken the community of these groups of people that are being attacked. You know, that's why the black man is not in the home. You know, they created systems, family division to divide the household and keep the black man locked up while the children are raised by the mothers. And then they become a certain type of way based off of, you know, Willie Lynch and certain things of that nature. Just getting a little bit deep on information that, you know, my young brothers and sisters can study for themselves.
Right.
But getting back into your wonderful hip hop and this phenomenal gameplay,
Yes.
you know, I want to know more about, you know, what you got coming on in the future. Like, what are you working on? What is your label? I know you're with One Hood. It's a movement, but is that your company as well that you brand your music under, or?
Well, One Hood is a hip hop collective that I am a part of, but it's not a label. It's just an organization that seeks to, you know, use hip hop as a tool to, you know, to empower our youth to use hip hop as a vehicle for change. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. As it was intended to be used for, you know, not just for partying and entertainment, because you got to remember, we created it.
Right.
So when we created it, there was no outside commercial marketing gimmicks that applied to the artists.
Right.
They just did things. They rocked parties, or they had consciousness and they woke their people up with the music, you know, and we forgot about those things to where every artist sounds the same today.
Right.
Everybody raps with that same, you know,
everybody
southern
sound like they
twang.
from the South, you know.
Yeah, everybody's with the southern twang because it's the gimmick that's selling. And it's like, we got a ton of gimmicks. We don't need no more. We don't need no more gimmicks.
And what's
Please.
crazy is I spent like a good 10, 11 years in Houston, Texas, you know, before I even started rapping, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things is that, you know, they're not happy that everybody stole their culture. They're not like, oh yeah, everybody come sound like us. They don't want you to sound like us because now you infringing on their organic being. You know, this is who they was. They've been sipping lean. That's been their thing for the last.
Even though that's totally wrong. Don't never sip lean. Please stay away from drugs. Everybody, adult and children, please. Help me.
My point was that, like, you know, even though they've already, like, that was their culture, that was their thing, and that people, you know, basically tried to mainstream a drug culture that they weren't familiar with. They tried to mainstream a twang that wasn't their own.
True.
They tried to, you know what I mean? They tried to,
because,
you know,
what the young group that raps like Bone Thugs, what's their names? Migos.
Do they?
They have a Bone Thugs
I'm gonna need you not to know.
They have a Bone Thugs type style.
Negative.
They have a Bone Thugs
I'm gonna need you not to put my bros in the same. Now I fool with the Migos, but they'll.
And this is where they get. I mean, you got to learn from the OGs. A lot of young guys will come into the game and think that they were the first to do something that somebody that they've never studied has been doing it for years.
Okay.
And it's like Bone Thugs and Harmony, the way that they rap. You know, I can't do the rap style, but it was very melodic and it was just as fast as the Migos Southern style.
Right.
So I'm not saying that they took the style. It is an original flavor to them because it's not the same amount of words being communicated. So that's the difference. But, you know, as time progresses anyway with artistry, we do have to find our own unique voice.
Right.
You know, just as you found your own. We got to get our artists to come out here and be true artisans.
Right.
You know, create stuff. Artisans, just getting it in and creating something that's dynamic, that's not just making people feel good, but it's actually making your life better in some type of way.
Right.
You know, besides, you know, destroying other people's households.
Right.
You know,
because hip hop is a global popular culture. So, you know, for everybody in the world hears the music that we put out.
Right.
And
it's the #1 genre right now. You
right.
know? It actually just recently became the highest selling genre according to what they let us know about.
I mean, it's always been the highest selling.
It's always been the best genre.
Been the highest
that's
selling.
all I've been.
It's the only export that America has. What else can you export? There's nothing else that you need to export. We import everything. Even bananas, fresh fruit, all of that. We import all of this stuff. We don't even grow it on our own
Being all
land.
over the world is amazing, but we got to make sure that we keep hold of what is the culture. When we forget where we came from, then everything is up to the people who take hold or control of whatever you created.
Right.
So it's like a lot of our hip hop is being watered down and it's being turned into something that a lot of us don't even listen to no more. I'm not really encouraged by a lot of hip hop music.
Right.
You know, I go back to the older MCs and some of these guys that really substantiated themselves, you know, Jay-Z, Saha the Prince, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. You know, these are phenomenal talents we have in this world. But there's many talents that do different things. It's just, do my kids do the right things after listening to your music? That's what I wonder.
Right.
You know, I don't want my kid going out there doing something they just heard you say about, you know, doing some type of drug or something like that.
Right.
So, you know, it's not about helping pharmaceuticals make billions of dollars. It's really about you owning your catalog so that you don't end up like some artists have ended up, being in debt by millions of dollars, not owning none of their catalog or publishing because you were chasing the fame instead of figuring out how to never get caught up in a situation like, you know, musicians have warned us about in the past.
Right.
And a lot of them have died for warning us.
Jay-Z definitely talk about that 360 dude.
Yeah.
Definitely talk about.
Tell me about what you know about the 360. What you know
I
about that?
I don't know too much except that I'm gonna remain independent because that's that way I can say what I need to say, and I don't have to worry about being censored. And I don't have to worry about who has access to my masters or who can do what with that, and like I don't need that.
That's dope. That's what I mean. That encourages me. That's what it's about. Ownership.
Right.
True ownership is owning your publishing, all of that. It's very easy to own your publishing. It's nothing. It's just you got to take a little bit of time and register. But, your publishing is what the label wants to steal from you.
Right.
As an artist, they're coming to you as a company and they're trying to buy something off of you that you don't even know you already possess.
Right.
And once they get that, then they got all this money. Michael Jackson was about to own so much of Sony. I mean, come on. It was about to be ridiculous based off of publishing and deals that were done. So it's like we do have to be careful with the contracts. A lot of rappers just see the deal and the money.
But we don't know that, especially if you, like I said, if you come from poverty and somebody's offering you something that's gonna feed your family, you know what I'm saying? Like how many people is not gonna take it? Because I mean, you go from making your own hits in your basement to state of the art, studio. I mean, how many people is gonna be like, oh, nah, I'm not gonna take it. Even though Ice Cube, like with NWA, Ice Cube was like, he had the foresight to be like, nah. But, say a Dr. Dre who had kids at home is hey, I'm gonna take this because I need to eat.
We can't save everybody. We can't save everybody from the mistakes that have been made by so many before us. Right. A lot of people need to make those mistakes for themselves so they can whine about it later.
Right.
But those who will take the time to study this industry, the industry is not about your glamour and glitz, so that's your selfish desire. It's about something way deeper. It's about creating great music, but that music can be taken advantage of if they know they can exploit your talent for profit. So you have to.
Well, these is young men. These is people like barely even 23. Who have been hustling all their life. And so when somebody puts, if you used to making $1,500 on the block and somebody say $15K, or somebody say $50K, or somebody say $150K, I mean, how many?
Master P did that. He walked away from a ton of money.
Yeah.
He said no, and he was broke. He didn't have no money at the time.
Right.
But he was smart enough to understand the contract. You can't break that once you sign your name on it.
Right.
It's not a game where you can just be like, I don't like this no more, I can quit. You gotta be careful in the beginning. Read everything. Even the line you sign your name on could be some word in small print.
Right.
Who knows? But you just gotta pay attention to what's on the paper.
Right.
That's the most powerful thing, the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. Whether we use it in our poetry, if we use it in our hip hop, how we create our rhymes, and we fight with words, these things are very powerful. Just like how we sign our name on a contract. It's so powerful that you'll hate, it can destroy your life. And it makes a lot of artists I've noticed go crazy.
I mean, all of them. I mean, even, I listened to Meek Mill's last album, Wins and Losses. Okay. And to me, so I still kind of.
I haven't heard it yet.
Because I'm always dealing with youth. Like we just got done up at the Schumann Detention Center, facilitating this workshop, you know, that teaches these youth also how to make music. And one of the things is that they don't even, you know, they don't even know what they're worth. You know, no one's talking to them about their worth as human beings,
Right.
let
True
alone
story.
as an artist. You know
True
what I'm
story.
saying? So, you know, we're having to actually go back. We have to undo all of this conditioning that they've been, you know, preached to from the public schools or even to their own homes. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some of our grandmothers are conditioned. You know, our great grandmothers. You know, this is generational.
Right, true story.
And
It's
so
been
if
passed down generation after generation.
After generation.
Indoctrination that hasn't been able to be broken because they told us we couldn't read. So we had to go for long periods of time just believing in things and believing information because we could not read. So I can understand that, not knowing generation after generation.
Right.
You know,
And so you got these new youth now who think that as a man, you have to be, you know, especially here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a little bit, you know, is a little bit harsh than a lot of communities that I've lived in because you have to be hard to live here. You have, as a man, as a boy, you have to be hard. You can't not be a hardcore or you'll get picked on. You'll get picked on.
man,
You might get bullied.
We've been trained up to do that to ourselves, and we always, ever since a child, you know, being picked on has just been a natural thing of being an African in America. It's because we haven't been taught to really have all the love that we need for ourselves. So a lot of times we'll take out our hatred for ourselves on others.
Right.
And we don't necessarily help each other build. You know, we've
Right.
come into a thing. Crabs in a barrel is a saying that's used loosely because it's not really about that. It's really that we haven't been given a lot of opportunity so much to the extent that we don't, when we get something, we're afraid to let anybody else touch it or even know about it.
Right.
So we don't give the children gifts that really lead them into greatness. We don't really give, you know, great rappers. And you could be a great artist in the city for 10, 15 years. And, you know, they're not going to give you nothing. You know, you're not going to, I mean, nobody has to give you anything.
Right.
But they're not going to honor your ability. You'll be talking to people with radio stations and things like that. And the artists will never get nowhere. They won't get any shows. They'll still be paying. I'm looking at artists paying thousands of dollars to perform for 5 minutes for nobody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's not really like, as far as your shows are concerned, what do you like the best as far as like your performances in Pittsburgh, abroad?
Well, I mean, so alhamdulillah, like I get paid in Pittsburgh. So
Okay,
I
great.
don't perform without getting paid.
Great.
Like I'm not out here, and I mean, I do a lot of community events. I do a lot of, you know, rallies and protests and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm never paying to play. If
True
you gonna
story.
charge me to perform, then I'm not performing because I know, you know what I mean. And quiet as it's kept, you know what I mean. Like white folks pay me. White folks don't mind paying me. Black people is the one who lowball me. Black
Well,
people
that's
will
how
be
it
like,
is. I mean, this is Pittsburgh's industry is not black controlled hip hop. You know, that's
But-
why all the top DJs are
but let me
European. But there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's allowed in hip hop. This is for everybody to share. But we have to respect each other's house while we're here.
I think respect the artist. I think that if you're asking me to come out to a community event that you know youth is going to feel me at, like pay me like I weigh or don't invite me to something like that. Now, mind you, you can invite me to come facilitate a workshop all day. You know what I'm
Right, true
saying?
story.
But don't invite me to perform. This is my work. I don't have a job.
Right, true
I'm
story,
eating off my
super
craft.
facts.
So if you invite me to do something, don't have me there and like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't pay you.
True
Can't
story.
you do this for the community? Wait a minute.
Super
Wait a minute, because
facts.
you're not going to invite a Wiz Khalifa without paying him.
Right, true story.
You're not going to invite you're not going to bring Nicki Minaj here without paying her.
No, what they're really saying is you got to put in some hours working for somebody else before you're good enough to come to their table and do something.
And
They don't want to give you no money. They want you to go give them all your money.
I come from teaching the babies. Like I teach the babies in this community.
That's dope.
I don't just, you know what I mean? I'm not just saying, oh, give me. I give back to the community.
Super
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? In a real way, like in a real tangible way. Any of the
Super
youth that
facts.
I've taught, they can come back and say, oh, who Medusa? Nah, she, you know what I mean? Like hands down, You know what I mean? She put me in the studio. I never been in a studio before. She taught me how to make a beat. I never made a beat before. She taught me how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, she sat down with my lyrics and gave me real feedback.
You know
what
what?
I'm saying? So, nah.
You know what? And dealing with all of that pride you got, and then that's really appreciated. I want to jump into your next record, Black Pride.
Okay,
you know,
absolutely.
it's sort of like an anthem.
Yes.
And I want the people to know what you vibing like.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah, street flow assist. Yeah, I blow a bit. No, I'm not controlling, just trying to take a hold of it. Climbing up the pole, yeah, gon' take a hold of it. Breathe new sun, breathe new sun. If you ain't scared, gon' do something. You gon' take the power back. Back is where the power's at. Back is that I'm fighting back. Using words, rhyme, predicate, verb. Now I'm swerving up on the curb, trying to get up out the left lane. My left brain trying to think about the right things. My right brain trying to right change. Just flow with no intermission, knowing my intermission. Using my intuition, don't suggest you go against it, Wait, hold up. Stop when I say Black Lives Matter, man. Y'all repeat the words. We say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. We say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Yeah. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. Who the victim? You the victim, they the victim. Ooh, who the victim? They the victim, you the victim. Ooh, 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 yeah. Well, I just stab on them, Impala slap on them. Michael Jackson, Billy Bad on them. We looking good, black fat on them. My black skin is trending. Checking followers and all who you befriending. I'm lit to no end, then one word. Winning, 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 winning. Well, check my copy in your rearview mirror. I'm no contender, you cannot compare up. The end is coming, I can hear it nearer. And spit that black shit, make the world just fear up. Yeah, yeah. Hey, it gets scary. Like a picture on the wall, eyes following down the hall, make the skip against the crawl as the spirit descends. Oh, you call it paranormal. The ancestor looking for you, call it paranormal. But ain't nothing about the system ever normal. Yeah, nothing about the system ever normal. Nothing about the system. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. Who the victim? You the victim, they the victim. Ooh, who the victim? They the victim, you the victim. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, when I had to scream black pride and describe just what matters about black lives, as you say all lives matter, but all lives ain't the same. All lives ain't the same. Well, I had to own my skin. 400 years, I couldn't say it, I had to hold mine in. So now as I think about it and I hold my pen, I summon all my kin that drowned in the Atlantic, left children frantic, running about looking for their mamas with papas who had forgot the language of power. So in their honor, I slay black pride. I fried, died, laid to the side straight, slay black pride. I Medgar Evers and Emmett Till straight, slay black pride. I Ida B. Wells, the side of Shakur state, slay black pride. I slay black pride. I slay black pride. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Racism gon' be my victim. I got black pride in my system. Patriarchy gon' be my victim. Who the victim? You the victim, they the victim. Ooh, who the victim? They the victim, you the victim. Ooh, 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 yeah.
Okay, grand. That's what it is. We back. Rap game is. Yeah, I just had to do a little song, a little jingles. We came back, and I had to say to y'all, I love y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, join in. I mean, what's going on with y'all? Join in, be interactive, ask us questions. We on the couch right now with Blak Rapp Madusa, phenomenal MC out of Pittsburgh, PA. If you need a dope female MC, hire her. Check out our website, blackrap.org. You know, you can check out her music, video, see what she got going on. You know, very intelligent young black woman. And, you know, she got a lot of good things to say, a lot of positive, you know, art that she is creating for our people. So, you know, that's always going to be well embraced. We need more of that, and we need more things that will facilitate that type of creativity. So, you know. So tell me more about that record. Tell me about what got you into that one. What made you want to write that one?
Oh, Black Pride is as in the title, you know what I mean? Wanting to give, you know, folks more to sing about, more to be proud about, more to talk about in terms of their blackness and owning that and being unapologetic about owning that. You know, it's just like about how do we, you know, like how do we start to talk about what the ancestors did? And I think that, you know, oftentimes we don't give our ancestors enough credit for what they did. You know, often we think, oh, you know, slavery happened and we just let it happen. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, like the only reason that we were able to get free, Abraham Lincoln didn't free us because he wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, we resisted and kept resisting and kept resisting and kept resisting and kept fighting back and kept rebelling. And that's why they had to free us. You didn't have a choice. Because we kept rebelling against that. You may think it's about the Union and Confederacy, but it was really because we kept resisting and we kept fighting back, and you know, like y'all couldn't hold us.
Well, contrary to popular belief, I'm about to shake up the word real quick. You know, slavery was not that popular. It really was not a popular thing, and there were a lot of free Moors, Africans that were already pre-existent on the continent that were here. And the biggest problem with slavery was like what you said, but the numbers were bigger than, you know, what we might think they might have been. Because we think that only a small number of Africans came over on ships. There were already millions of Africans on the soil. Dark skinned, they called them natives, but they were just native to the land, but they were dark as us. Olmecs, coming from tribes that existed all over the world, you know, because everything was together, Pangea, Akabula.
I mean, they had my man's Menes in Tapultepec. You know what I'm saying? Way before, you know, the Europeans even got here. So
tell them about that. Drop some gems real quick about that information.
So Tapultepec it's like deep in Mexico or whatever. I don't know what the name for it really is, because I only know the European term for it. But you know, it's a big head. It's a big head of minis. You know what I'm saying? Like a bit, like the
sort
biggest,
of like the Olmec heads. Yeah.
Right. So this big head was there, thousands of years old. Like, they looking at it like, what? Wait a minute. This thing has a broad nose. This thing has big lips. Wait a minute. I thought we discovered this. No, you didn't. And so, you know, like I said, the Black Pride is about, you know, remembering. And I know I use the word black for lack of a better term right now and right here, you know, because I want to meet the people where they at.
That's easily relatable, because all throughout time we've always called ourselves a color black, because it represented the dark tone of our melanin.
Right.
You know, in ancient Kemet, the name Kemet meant dark sands or dark skinned people. You know, when we deal with being a Moor, it was a name referred to people who had a Moorish tone, or Moorish people, meaning black, Negroes, or just different things, terminologies that may have existed predating slavery. You know, a lot of terms were utilized in slavery that became more derogatory because America popularized the culture.
Right.
But before that, it was never a popular thing everybody was doing. It just wasn't the end thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I mean, they talk so much about, oh, well, y'all had slaves before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but not to the extent that we're ostracizing you because of your skin color. Like, that is a thing that Europeans made up here to, you know, perpetuate white supremacy. And so, you know, when we talk about Black Pride, it's like, you know, I get a lot of people who say, well, that's reverse racism. I was like, wait a minute, what?
It's impossible.
I was like, what are you talking about, reverse racism? I'm like, you know, the reality of it is that we are at war with you know, a group of people who do not like us simply because of our greatness.
Speak the
and
truth.
so all of their work is to dumb it down
Super
as much
facts.
as possible before you wake up these sleeping giants, because they're going to wake up.
True story.
They're going to wake up. They may not be
story.
woke right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's enough of us who are woke right now who's going to continue doing the work to wake people up. Just like you got this show, just like I got my work, just like everybody in here is doing the work to wake people up. We don't want to be a part of the sleeping giants.
True story.
Nobody wants to be a sleeping giant. When you wake the people up, they're like, oh man, you know, oh for real. Oh, I didn't even know. Yo, Miss Blak Rapp, Miss Madusa, I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then there's some people who don't want it. There's some people who want to stay asleep. And that's but they're few and far between.
And then there are the worst ones, the ones who are woke, but they want others to stay asleep because they're holding on to knowledge as a power source.
That's their claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know, they want
and they
that
don't want
power
nobody
over
else
people.
to know what they know. But our ancestors said, each one teach one. You know, and this is supposed to be the goal for each of our people to be on the level that they should be so that we can be achieving, overachieving, to be great beyond that, because that's what you come from. You know, there's nothing else that I know besides greatness. I don't know being broken in slavery because my ancestors didn't come from that. Yeah. That happened to kings and warriors, goddesses that were taken, and it just made into something else. So.
And I don't eat that stuff into my spirit, nor do I spit that out. So you don't have to worry about me spitting out some, you know, defaming type of rhetoric, because that's not what's been fed to me. Super you know, the people who fed me, the elders who fed me, my spiritual guides and my mentors, they feed me in a way that, you know, that allowed me to keep going. And I don't surround myself with people who feed me bad stuff. If you're going to feed me, if I feel like you, oh, what is that? What, is that pork? Oh no, I need to go.
Hell
this is not somewhere I need to, where, you know, Angela Davis said, you know what I'm saying, or Nina Simone, I'm sorry. Angela Davis or Nina Simone. Those are two very important
beautiful,
people
strong
in my
black
life.
Women.
That inspired me to be a strong black woman. But you know, when love is no longer being served at the table, you got to get up.
Right.
But you got to know that that's not love. You got to know, like, if you're going to give me pork rind, pork belly, pork this,
So tell me, like, lead us into this next video that I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play one of your videos, Rapture.
Yeah.
We should have it queued. So lead us into it.
Rapture is, you know, again, it's about, it takes it back. It's my first video that I ever made. And it's just talking about where I come from. You know, I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'm originally from Harrisburg. I was born in Harrisburg. But like I said, I grew up in Houston, Texas. And so having that East Coast experience and then having that Southern experience and then coming to Pittsburgh it's kind of a gift and a curse, for real, because while I learned Black consciousness at the University of Pittsburgh, I also experienced racism in a real way in Pittsburgh. Like I can't tell you, I fought at least 3 or 4 people for calling me a nigga. Like, I've had to literally dig in their mouth. Because where I'm from, nobody ever said that to me. So I never had like this, you know, toxic relationship with white people. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Even though I was learning about myself, I knew who I was. There was never like, oh, I'm hating you because you white. Like, I see you and I don't want to be around white people. I never had to experience that. I will second that
about Pittsburgh. There's been no place in this world I've lived that has been more racist in that respect, period, and that disrespect, than Pittsburgh. You know, I've been called the N-word multiple times growing up as a child. Yeah. Like it was a normal thing. And, you know, the Klan is here. There's a lot of things going on in our city that's not necessarily conducive to, you know, a cultured lifestyle for people outside of it.
And I don't see a lot of Black people resisting that. Right. Like, I don't see like a lot of Black, I'm going to just get into it real quick. I was just at the movie theater, the Phoenix Theater. And, you know, this white police officer had pushed this girl who was like, you know, young Black girl between 12 and 14. I don't know what, you know, just between 12 and 14, just from looking at her. But he literally grabbed her and pushed her out the door, the police officer. And Black people are walking past like, you know, like, that's not my business. Whoa, wait, it's my business. And so, you know, I stepped to him like, yo, what's happening?
actress.
You know,
right.
why is this person's parent not there?
You got more heart than a lot of them.
Oh,
The
man.
heart,
Oh,
I don't know
man.
where the heart is at.
Oh, I started filming him. He threw me on the ground, like pushed my face into I went to jail. I got arrested and everything. And I didn't
standing up for something that
I didn't even break any. I didn't break any law. All I did was film.
Yeah, there should have been.
He was calling them animals and maniacs. I got the footage. So I'm gonna beat the case, inshallah. But you know the fact that black people kept walking past as if this wasn't their concern, as if this young girl, like, oh, you had to do something for the officer, but she's 12 to 14. There's no way in hell that a grown man is putting his hands on a child and you're walking past like that's not your business.
That's a thing that happens. I mean, we just had that thing with the pizza shop and the disrespect that was happening. And it was like a cartoon, because I didn't understand how a grown man, could watch another grown man beat a woman in front of him, and all he cares about is videotaping
slice of pizza. He was like, I'm just trying to get my pizza.
I mean, but you know, that's nothing goes without the ancestors' eyes watching.
Nothing goes
and the energy of the universe is always true story. But I want to get into your video, so let's get into the rapture real quick.
Absolutely.
So we can see how you put your visuals together.
Yeah.
Bismillah, Rahman Rahim. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Rahman Rahim. She wreaking havoc, civil savage from the barracks to the north PA. You tell and don't say good times in hell. We go to parties with a gun spray and hunt's leg and duck out fast. The cops coming, niggas running the flesh. The mother crews, they got stuck for they stash. We down the bruise and lit the L to the F. Ain't nothing new except the watch on our hands. Maybe it's the hands on the watch. The only constant is change and never stops round the clock. Got 'em picking cotton in your backdrop. The black cash crop, modern day plantation set. Now it's the crack rock. Cocaine, hurricane, to flood your city with drugs. No escape except the prison of slugs. You having sex just because you can't cope with no love. And all she wrote was when heaven erupts. Yeah, all she wrote was when heaven erupts. Yeah. For the rapture unfold, for the rapture unfold. Pray the lie you won't fold, pray the lie you won't fold. Only a lot can control. Every second gotta watch you so, gotta watch you so. For the rapture unfold, for the rapture unfold. Pray the lie you won't fold, pray the lie you won't fold. There's only a lot can control. Every second gotta watch you so, gotta watch you so. Seems the days we in is so stressed out. I see my brother in the grave with his soul stretched out. I see my mother looking dazed, couldn't close her mouth. Tears roll down like thundering clouds, and now she wondering how. I worked for years trying to get him out. Somehow Satan's voice got loud, spoken languish and anguish from the pain that became at times that bottom gin and them demons. He sold crack around and served his mother 92. And since then, he ain't got the same juice. And since then, he alive said was you been snitching more times than a few. So the brothers on the Ave had to hit him with the tools. 2 shots in close range, both in plain view. His mama on the corner felt the pain in the womb. She walked cautiously to him as the angels of death started talking to him. For the rapture unfold, for the rapture unfold. Pray the lie you won't fold, pray the lie you won't fold. Only a lot can control. Every second gotta watch you so, gotta watch you so. For the rapture unfold, for the rapture unfold. Pray the lie you won't fold, pray the lie you won't fold. There's only a lot can control. Every second gotta watch you so, gotta watch you so. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I mean.
Yeah. Welcome back. AsafoDigital presents Rap Gamers. We here right now. It's your host Lhagic, Lhagic, on the couch with Blak Rapp Madusa. Phenomenal music, you know, the whole night we've been going through your records. Phenomenal conversation. You know, I love that, you know, and that's what we need to talk about. Share real dialogue, you know, and we get to see how you really feel as a person. And hopefully that these things that we spoke about tonight can help better our community and cause more conversations to create more change. You know, actual action, not waiting and depending on someone to do it. You can't be a pet in somebody's house and be talking about you want to be free.
Right.
You want to be on that chain until they, or if you don't get no snacks, you might starve.
Yeah.
You got to get your own going on. Find
Right.
your own pack to click with. You know.
So I want to make sure that we talk about this
yeah.
one woman play and put that out there.
Okay,
real
grand.
quick.
You see this right here? I don't know if I'm holding it up right. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure y'all check this out. Memoirs of an Artivist. You know, Blak Rapp Madusa, phenomenal. Dope MC in Pittsburgh. And, you know, I definitely vouch for her because I want to see more artists like her. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just keep seeing these trap artists. I don't care about your drugs. Don't sell me none, please. But this works right here, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely.
Definitely. But you know what, last thing, you know, because this is where everybody that comes into our house as a guest, you know, we want to make sure that you drop a dope rhyme to leave everybody with a great taste in their mouth about what you really stand for, and who you are as an artist. How do you represent?
Okay.
So I'm going to throw on something classic for y'all.
Okay.
And this is our non-GMO hip-hop spot.
Okay.
So, you know, you'll be showcased on non-GMO hip-hop. Make sure y'all like that page on Facebook. You know, check us out, see what we got going on. But you're only going to find the real there. You know, this is all organic, nothing artificial. But let's see what we got. What beat we going to have to throw on? Let's see what she can rock to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's Fuji's right here. Yeah, Blak Rapp Madusa, non-GMO hip-hop spot, freestyle. Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah. Block the exit plus the entrance. No one gets unless I let them. About to eat them, Hannibal Lecter. When police come open fire, insurrection. That Turner there with the burner. Harriet finna turn up. No escaping this fire, call it inferno. Put them through the floor. You sold my niggas ideas at your pearly gates. I tell my niggas they should liberate and reparate. Fuck a politician, let's they infiltrate. We claim Obama, but they syndicate. Rhyme, verb, and predicate. Send it to your block and let it permeate. Feel my shocker move and let them activate. No, I'm not your but appreciate. All the love appreciate. Yeah, me, I know, yeah, feeling like it's okay to be great, to be great, to be great. Block the exits.
Yeah. Blak Rapp Madusa in the building.
Yeah.
It was wonderful having you as a guest tonight on the show.
Yes.
Love
Thank
is love.
you.
Keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you
Thank
do.
you. Thank you so
know,
much.
Make sure you all check out blackrap.org. Check out her music. Check out the videos. Everything that she got going on. You know, she hosts Lhagic, Lhagic. You know, whether it's 16 bars or 16 bits, you know where it's at. It's Lhagic, baby. AsafoDigital, Rap Gamers. You know, we doing it all. You know, Sorgatron Media. You know, shout out to PlayStation.
Yes.
We out here, you know. And make sure you guys cop that game. Cop the game that we was playing today, Skyforce Anniversary. It's a dope game. We were just more focused on the dope conversation today.
Yes.
But we want you all to go out and cop that as well. And enjoy yourselves, man. If you a gamer, be a gamer, man. Just where the money at. What you talking about, baby? You wasting time.